Right now, I want to welcome to the show Mr. Todd Vandermeide, NRA's Illinois lobbyist. Todd, thank you, sir, for coming on the program tonight.
No problem, Cam.
All right, the vote today, 6 votes shy of that veto-proof majority. The raw vote total, the bill had a majority of the House of Representatives in Illinois, right?
Yep. Excuse me. When we dumped the roll call, it had 65 votes on it, but the high water mark for the bill was actually 68 votes.
68 votes, so that was just 3 shy of that veto-proof majority.
Yeah, it was. So, you know, we had one representative flip on us from Chicago who was saying she never promised to vote for the bill, but we've had 4 different people sit there and say, oh, no, she said she was going to vote for the bill. There was another person that had indicated they were going to vote for it. So if you add those 2 in, that's 70 votes.
Yeah.
1 shy of the supermajority. And we're hearing that Chicago pulled out all the stops. That they had the mayor making personal phone calls. I think he felt this as an affront to him if this were to pass right before he left town. We're hearing some rumors about Chicago aldermen and others making calls that legislators from the city, from the county, who work for the county or the city, there was some coercion about, their employment opportunities. So, they pull out all the stops. That's what they do.
Yeah.
We've seen them do it before. But I think that, like you said, we got more than a majority. We got 65 votes when, it was over, which is pretty significant that, a clear majority of the House of Representatives in Illinois supports right to carry.
Absolutely. As I said earlier this evening, you're basically looking at what was the final margin between Bill Brady and Pat Quinn? Like something less than 30,000 votes.
Yeah.
I know that. So I mean, that's the difference right there. 30,000 votes and voters across the entire state of Illinois, and we'd be looking at a far different outcome. Now, Todd, I got to tell you, I find it. It's stereotypical Chicago politics that while the city of Chicago putting on that full court press to defeat right to carry, Mayor Daley is defending his request to have 5 bodyguards assigned to him after he leaves office as mayor of Chicago. So Daley wants round-the-clock protection, but he doesn't want the people who can't afford or aren't entitled to taxpayer protection to be able to protect themselves.
Right. He wants 24/7 protection. And he also wants 2 cars, one for him and one for his wife, to be chauffeured around. I didn't know he was king for life.
Yeah. That's just sick to me, Todd. I mean, and again, it shows the safety for me, but not for the mentality of the elites in Chicago.
Absolutely. I mean, here's a guy who fought to keep guns. When we were in committee the other day, they sat there and had the Chicago coppers brass sitting across from us, and they were trying to say, "Oh, we believe in you have a right to have a gun in your home." I said, "Wait, time out. People sitting on the other side of this table fought that for 30 years. These are the people who didn't want Otis McDonald to be able to have a handgun in their own home and only came to the 21st century kicking and screaming by their hair, dragged there by the Supreme Court of the United States."
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I mean, it just, today's disappointing. It's kind of heartbreaking in ways, but the bill's not dead. The maneuver we made by putting on postponed consideration keeps the bill alive. We're hoping that some of our downstate brethren who are very upset about what happened are, looking at other alternatives in other venues. I mean, we are going to look at every option that is available to us to see what we can do. We're not going to give up. We're not going to stop here. And we're, sat down with the Illinois Carry people. I mean, just to give you an idea, the other side doesn't get. I heard the antis were crowing a little bit that they shut us down.
Yeah.
They can crawl all they want. They need to understand how close they came to, having Illinois just completely wiped off their map. But, on the Illinois Carry page, I noticed on the thread for today's General Assembly monitoring, the last time I looked, there were over 17,000 views.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't think the other guys are doing good if they got 100 friends on the page.
Right.
So it's, they pulled out all the stops. I mean, they threw a piece out there about the Arizona shooter, and we're handing that out as to this is what's coming to Illinois. And it's like, based on the bill that was presented, he couldn't get a permit in Illinois.
God.
His run-ins with the local sheriff I'm sure the local sheriff would not have, sent him to the state police for a permit.
Okay, well, and Todd, let's not forget, you had an evil individual go into a classroom at Northern Illinois University without right to carry on the books and perpetrate an evil act. Now, again, if you're going to make that argument, then what about that guy?
Well, they sat there, he had a run-in with, he was being treated by a private physician for mental issues, and our mental health standard was changed in Illinois after the Northern Illinois shooting about that.
Uh-huh.
However, the funny thing is they were complaining about the FOID system and what we had there for people to be checked out, the background checks for our state system, which ties in the next FTIP system. But what they don't want to talk about, they had absolutely no response for, was that when they wanted to stop private sales and mandate all private sales go through that very same system, which is one of the hallmarks of the Brady's national agenda, our estimates are that would dump 100,000 private sales a year into the system. It was good enough for that.
Right.
But it wasn't good enough to check on people for carry permits when you add in fingerprints and the other stuff. So, they're hypocritical. They want it both ways. But we're not going to let them forget that. We're going to keep working on this. They got to say, the people, our members, the gun owners that I've been getting text messages and emails all day. I've had a lot of correspondence up on the Illinois Carry page about what happened today. People are discouraged. They're upset, but they realize that it's one battle in a long-fought war, that we didn't lose it all overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep going on. I spoke with the Auditor General tonight, and he said they've already commenced their audit of the FOID card section, which is one of the resolutions that we passed earlier on, to see just how bad things are over there. We're going to keep going. And I think that the fact that 65 members of the Illinois House today voted for a shall issue permits, carry permit, and at the high water mark we were at 68. Then if a couple of people that hadn't flipped on us, we'd be knocking on 70 right there.
Yeah.
You just think about where how far we've come in such a short time.
So, Todd, we ask this question every time we have you on. Tonight should be no exception. What should gun owners be doing right now if they want to see right to carry in Illinois?
I think right now it's call and thank the ones that co-sponsored the bill. We were even adding co-sponsors today.
Yeah.
There were Jack Franks came on as a co-sponsor today. There were some others that were moving around, and some late additions. Just thank the guys that voted with us and the guys that stuck along with us. And the audio is going to be available from the floor debates before too long. And just we start there. The one thing these guys don't hear often enough is thank you when they stand up and do the right thing. And this is a good time for our guys to say thank you. And then I would also encourage people to start, if they have a downstate legislator or one of those pro-gun legislators, and just say that whatever, if the governor wants X or the governor wants Y, start calling and saying, no, I'm opposed to it. Don't have to have a good reason. But, you know that when people, when legislators get an issue, if they get 10 phone calls or 20 phone calls, it might be a big deal.
Right.
We swamp them with phone calls. And if the and I'll tell you, the governor, we didn't lose a single vote that I can discern today because of the governor. He's largely irrelevant to this. He tried to make himself relevant, but don't really think he had. I can't find a vote that he turned on us.
Interesting.
So, but if the governor's going to have his hand out for a bunch of stuff, and maybe the one way to get his attention is to watch some of his other initiatives just go down in flames.
Yeah.
And once that happens, he'll start to maybe take seriously that he only won 3 counties in this entire state.
Out of 102?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 3-county Quinn.
Oh, man. Well, Todd, again, sir, I know that you'll say it's the gun owners in Illinois and the Illinois State Rifle Association and Illinois Carry, and you're right. This was an effort with a lot of folks involved, but you were heavily involved in this as well, and I want to thank you for all of your work and coming on the program talking about this. I know it's not over yet, so when you've got new updates to let us know about, you come back on this program, okay?
Well, I think we're going to have some stuff. I mean, we're looking at all options. We're considering if there's any changes we can make to the bill that, would bring us any more votes. But, we get approached time and time again about carving out Chicago or something like that. Like a Philadelphia thing. You know what? Otis McDonald came down here this week to help, talk to legislators.
Right.
I just can't look him in the face and say, Otis, you're a second-class citizen. You don't get to have right to carry in Chicago because, I just don't feel right doing that. And he went to bat to the Supreme Court for me, and I'm going to go to bat down here for him. I think we're going to be looking at potential litigation. We're the only state that has nothing, no permit system, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're going to continue to look at the election, and and where we're going to go. We're in a remap here. It's going to open up some possibilities. I did an interview with a African American radio station tonight. There are some people there that are pretty hot. We only need to turn 1 or 2 of those districts, and the dynamics are very, very different. So we'll see what there's options out there. But we still have a month of session left to go, and it's not over.
All right, Todd Vandermeide, NRA's Illinois lobbyist. Thank you again, sir. We'll talk to you very, very soon, I'm sure.
Take care, Ken.
Todd Vandermeide with us on the program tonight.